You didn't like it.
That's a
No,
damn...
wait a minute.
Oh, that is a damn good friend.
It was actually one of my really
damn
good friends back then. Yeah.
But
We lost touch over the years.
But like, did you know you were gay before? You knew you were gay before you had sex with her? Or did that just like send it over the edge?
What gave you indications?
No.
This bitch, she's so bad. Just makes me want to be even more gay.
Right?
What gave you indications? Like you, I mean, how do you...
Okay, so I'll put it this way. Like, I really, to be completely 100% transparent with y'all, I don't know. Like, I've always said, like, you don't turn gay. Like, you don't wake up one day and just be like, oh, I like dick better than vagina.
You're
you know
born
what I mean?
with it.
Yeah. And there's still a lot of debate about that with some people, but
It's a mindset.
yeah. Like, I'll put it this way. Like, I think I've told Michelle before I said her name correctly
Look
this
at
time.
you. I'm so proud.
Like, I think women are gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
They are. Like, they're pretty. Like, I'll motorboat you all night long. Like, you're pretty. I'll put it, like, though what I've always said.
You
I'm
just
like,
don't want to play with them any further.
yeah, I'm not playing with
Just
kitty
not below
cat,
the
like,
waist.
Yeah. Like, I've always said, women make my engine purr. Men make my engine rev.
Okay.
And that's just the way I've always looked at it. Like, because I think women are gorgeous. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I'll hug on you, motorboat you, hold your hand. You know, like, I'll
I
be your
haven't been
BFF.
motorboated. I'm a little offended.
I can't even ask yet.
Oh, I gotta ask.
Give it time. But no, I mean,
it sounds like we're in a whole different dimension of shit. So I don't know
Hey, you
what
brought it up.
the parameters or what you should do or not do at this point.
no. And like,
If you want to be boated by a gay guy, you got to ask him. Just motorboat me. Okay.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it don't bother me playing with boobs. Like,
You want to kiss me? Just not your bottom lips.
oh my god. Ew. No. Like, and that's the thing. Like, when I actually had sex with my best friend back then, like, it was not terrible.
Right.
Like the girl?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
just wasn't
How many women have you been with sexually?
one.
One. Okay,
Just-
so
yeah.
that one.
Did
That
you
one.
flip her over though?
Flip her over.
It was missionary.
Well, I mean,
Like
I didn't
normal
know
position.
if he's gay.
Flip her over like...
You mean like she went lesbian?
No, like you went anal.
Oh no, I didn't.
I mean,
no, no, I did not. No,
Listen, bitch, I'm
It was
gay. I'm
already
going to put it in your ass.
it was already.
No,
I prefer assholes, so I'm just going to
like you just
do what I
started-
can with this. You mind wearing a strap on?
It was already traumatizing enough with
I
the
just-
give me
vagina.
the
I
look.
really didn't know if you just like started and you were like, nah, bro, this isn't for me.
You know what? That's kind of weird looking. I prefer your
mean-
brown eye.
I mean, brown-eyed Bobby, not pink-eyed Susan.
Oh shit!
Pink-eyed Susan is a bleach butthole, I would
Oh
say.
yeah.
No, pink-eyed Susan just talks too much with her lips, is what she does. But anyways,
Which ones?
Talking about queefing?
both sets sometimes.
I think queefs.
One talks more than the other, I'm sure. But no, like it wasn't terrible or bad. It just, I was like, oh, okay, this is what it feels like.
Did you
Okay.
get off?
I got off.
Yeah.
But I mean, it just, I don't
It
know.
just wasn't your
Yeah,
thing. It
my
wasn't
thing.
your vibe.
Yeah.
What, nothing to grab onto or nothing like that? And
Grab on it.
It's like a stick
Like a
shift.
rodeo. That's probably how I learned how to drive manual back in the day, to be honest.
hey, there you go.
Probably why you
Yeah.
learned how to drive. I gotta get some practice.
There's only
This stick
one
shift's
gear.
fun. Yeah. This stick shift's fun. I like this game.
Okay, what happened was
So you realized you were gay, and you had sex with that one girl. So after that, had you had sex with men prior to that girl? Was that your first ever like lost your virginity?
That was the first time I lost my virginity to a girl.
Okay.
But
Was there guys prior to that?
there was, like, I think, maybe one.
so she just popped your girl cherry.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay,
Pretty much.
You had already had your man cherry popped.
Yeah.
Okay,
That was the one time in the church.
so you had a fair comparison to really know.
Yeah.
There you go. I like it.
Yeah.
I mean, it was, like...
Most people can't say that.
I mean, it might just be me, but, you know, sex is just sex sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, it's...
Yeah. I get it.
I've been here before, I'm doing it, you know, whatever. But for me, like, I don't know, I feel weird talking about this, but like
It's all right. That's why it's
I
called
feel
the
like we've
stupid dating
crossed
show.
all the
Right.
lines.
Yeah,
So
we've
we've
crossed a lot of fucking lines at this point.
We really have. We really have.
I don't think you
going
realize
back
what
now.
you're coming into.
Sorry, Mom. Apologize.
By the way, Will, this is just a chill podcast. Don't
Yeah.
worry about it.
We're only 43 minutes in. We
Maybe I
got a ways to go.
Maybe I should have had a beer while I was here.
You want one?
You're welcome.
No, I
on,
don't do
dude.
IPAs. I'm good though.
I got pale ales. They're not as strong.
I don't even know what that is. I'm gay. I don't
Look,
drink beer.
taste it. If you don't like it, I'll drink it.
I drink White Claws.
He does
The
drink
basic
White
bitch
Claw.
drink.
And twisted
And
tea.
Twisted Teas.
I didn't know if I was going to get my ass kicked that night with that twisted tea. I was worried.
With me?
Yeah,
Why?
because it's usually White Claw.
Oh yeah, well, yeah. I was in the mood for a change.
know what
You
was
know, like I
happening.
flip flop with men and women. I mean,
You don't flip flop. You figured it out.
yeah, I figured it out.
Do
Yeah.
you flip flop like with men and women? Like
Not
No.
for sex. We
No,
don't.
well,
absolutely not.
But you'll motorboat a woman.
I'll motorboat them all night long.
So you'll flirt. But when it comes down to that's
Well, like usually if I motorboat a woman, it's like they come like, I know
Look,
you're gay, but can you like?
we've talked about this. I've been accused of flirting with women when I'm drunk. So
Gosh, Michael.
I mean, I think
there you go.
I think like there's no at a certain point there's no sexual thing about
Right.
motorboating
No, it's
a
not.
woman. It's
You do it just to do it.
It's just
like,
fun.
yeah.
You know, like you feel the jiggle and
I actually did motorboated a woman in one of my shows before.
Nice.
She had half her damn boobs out, and I was like, she had like a dollar stick in there, and I was like, I'll take the dollar. Brr. Sure did. I said, I got to give you the little something for the dollar.
Throat the dollar to get in there.
Yeah, that is one thing I don't understand how entertainers do. Like, I don't judge, but I've seen entertainers will take like dollars out of people's mouths with their mouth, and I'm
No.
like, I don't know where that money's been though.
You don't know where.
That sounds.
Yeah,
You don't know where that mouth has
like
been.
you can put it in my hand, or if it's in your mouth, I will take it and grab it with my hand out of your
But
mouth.
the one
like,
the one where you motorboated, you were.
glove on.
yeah.
Did you put your mouth on the dollar that you motorboated with though?
No, I
okay.
got it in my hand first.
Oh, and then you shoved your face in there.
I've done a lot of dirty things in my life, but I'm not putting a dollar in
I
my
wouldn't
mouth.
either.
Like,
It's
I'm sorry.
like the dirtiest thing on the planet.
yeah.
What would you say is the dirtiest thing you've done at one of your shows?
Well, see, as my boyfriend says, like, I'm a hoe on stage because, like, mama's got to make some money over here. Like,
Yeah,
I
there you
mean,
go.
like, I do splits, kicks.
You can do
yeah.
a full split?
Yeah. Well,
Really?
not as good as I used to because I'm getting older.
Not in jeans. Don't get too excited.
Drag.
I was gonna say, could you whip out a split here?
Not right now. I did not stretch, and I really don't stretch when I do. Like when
Well,
I say
okay,
I
you
do
just
splits-
contradicted yourself completely.
What?
No, I can't whip it out because don't say that.
Gonna clip that one.
Yeah.
No, I can't whip it out right now.
I mean, I could. Is there money involved?
Never mind. I'm done. I'm continue.
Give you a sticker.
No, like
I'm gonna stop.
like when I say I used to do splits, like I used to, like when I was younger, I'll put it that way. I used to be able to do a full split.
Yeah.
But now when I say I do splits, I do what I call the fake splits, is where you like jump up in the air if you want
And
to.
you do like half.
It's like doing a cartwheel, but your feet don't really go all the way around.
Right.
You're just kind of.
So, a fake split is like I'll put my leg out in front of me and then my back leg like
Bends.
bends
like
behind
a
my
half
butt.
Okay.
So it looks like I'm quote unquote
I
doing a
see.
split, but it's like a fake split because I'm not limber like I used to be anymore.
So
like,
I don't say this. I can do a full split.
Really?
You gonna show us?
Like right now?
yeah.
Do it.
You want to see a split so bad.
Yeah, I mean, I can't do
Okay.
it.
Hold on, let's
Can
see
you
if I
really
can-
do a split? Hold on.
She can split it for both
Okay.
of us.
I'm gonna-
Hold on.
put the camera on it.
I don't know. I'm in jeans. Watch me rip my jeans.
his excuse.
Well, you
No,
have
I'ma do it.
you have clothes in your car to change
let's
into.
split.
So I mean,
I do have clothes in my
See?
car. Oh, we're doing it.
you rip them,
oh, she's gonna split it. Here we go.
I have new jeans in my car.
Do you need to stretch first?
Where's the spot you're gonna do this at? Oh wow,
Oh my God,
that's a
that is hurts.
wow.
That hurts my no square.
Hurts my nose. Is that what you said?
He did. He said it.
Hurts my no square.
He said it hurts his no square.
Nope.
Glad somebody did a
Well, somebody did a split.
Yeah.
Now, I never say that because men automatically, oh, you can do a split and it turns sexual like that.
I was just actually gonna say, like, have they ever asked you to like split on my dick?
Wow.
I'm a man. I was just amazed that you could do a fucking split.
Right.
I was a gymnast.
See, I did gymnastics when I was little, but
I was in karate and I could do a split back then, but I think I was like,
Wait, was it this long way or like the normal
The straddle
way?
split,
Like,
because that's stupid.
yeah. You mean this way? Straddle
Yeah.
split?
Well,
the straddle split. Like,
You could do that?
I could.
I could never do that.
I was like
couldn't either.
7, but I
I could do everything when I was 7.
Same.
Yeah.
We didn't care about our bodies back then. We
Imagine sex if it was legal when we were 7.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, moving on.
Anyways.
Yeah.
Now I'm just getting hot in here.
Yeah, I got a fan, but it's for the camera.
Stupid camera.
Hey, you just play. You warmed it up. But yeah, so you you realize you're gay. You start doing drag shows. What's been the best drag show you've ever, like, what's your routine, like? So you lip sync songs. What are the songs that you typically how long do you get on stage?
So for our shows up in Asheville at Henry's, we right now, because it's getting colder out, because almost December, or getting ready, whatever month
Halfway
it is.
through November?
Yeah. Because a lot of the tourists aren't in town right now, and because it's getting colder, we usually have 3 entertainers from the show. So right now we've gone down to 2, just because it's starting to slow down a little bit.
Just 2?
Yeah. But like it would be myself and another queen, and what we would do is we alternate. Like, they would do a number, I would. They would, I would.
Oh, okay.
So it's like 4 numbers in a show.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to dress up and do one.
Do all
You should
drag
totally
shows start at midnight?
Ours starts at 11:30, so it's about 30 minutes earlier.
Because I
Some
know
shows.
the 1 or 2 that I've been to, it was at midnight, and I don't usually make it past 9:30. So yeah, I'm gonna.
He got to get you on a different routine.
Well,
You act like you're so old.
I feel it.
I feel it.
I get up at 6
Yeah,
a.m.
but when you get into okay, so I was in the same routine for years. Obviously, while I was married, we always did the same
You
thing.
go to bed super early.
Yeah, like went to bed early, whatever. Now that it's like just me and I'm doing what I want to do when I want to do it, like
Right.
there's been plenty of nights where I've gotten 4 hours of sleep and gone to work the next day and gone
don't
through
know
the
how
whole
you
work
do
day.
that
Like
shit hurts so
Yeah.
damn bad.
Well, that was
What
like
do you do for work?
I work in an animal shelter, so very physical. Like I'm picking up dogs,
I would
walking
be calling
like,
into work like, I'm sick. I can't make it.
Yeah, I don't call in. I go out, I do my thing, I have fun,
You're a
and then
strong
I go
woman.
into work, and then I sleep the next night. Like I'm not going back out the next night. I'm sleeping.
If I'm going to bed past 10, I'm waking up thinking, should I call in today?
Yeah.
I haven't seen 1 a.m. Actually, I watched the fight the other night, but I did wake up for it.
Did you watch the fight on Friday?
I did.
That was dumb. The woman's fight
I
was
didn't watch
amazing.
it.
Oh my god, that was the main event.
Can you say "Oh my god" like that one more time?
Oh
You're
my
like, oh my
God.
god.
Well, I'm trying to appease our company here.
Hey, you say it however you want.
That was like supernatural for like a minute though.
It's the IPA.
I'm in
Are
that.
you
IPA
missing
talking.
Eric?
I do miss Eric, yeah, but
Aw.
I feel like he's never coming back at this point. You
I
know,
don't know.
I actually planned this out. I was going to be like, welcome back to That Stupid Dating Show. My name's Rane. And then I was going to have you say, and my name's Michelle.
You almost
Eric-
called me Michael.
I know. Well, actually, I feel like I almost called you Kyle. but I was going to have you say, and my name's Michelle. Eric's replacement, he was mauled by a donkey something mix and whatever and then
Wherever
I was
he's
gonna
at.
say, like, there's like an inside joke sort of, like, if you listen to the podcast long enough, Eric, when he doesn't know what he's trying to debate or talk about, he always says, I need to do a little more research on this.
Yeah.
So I was gonna be like, after you said it, I was like, bless his soul, he was just out trying to do a little more research.
I wonder if they saw any screaming goats.
We have those in America.
I know, but like on Switzerland, it's like more natural for them to like
I feel
stand
like-
on a mountain and like
Yeah, I was
scream.
gonna say like a ram or whatever. they're
Yeah,
called.
The goats that just
They
stand
just
on mountains
the mountain goats.
screaming because they don't know the next move. And they
They got scared.
I don't know where to go.
God.
That makes sense. Anyways, back to Willie boy here.
I feel like I don't want to call him Willie.
So you go by Mimi. When I first saw that, I thought of Drew Carey.
Oh, with the show with the blue eyeshadow and all that. Yeah.
Was that not like? Yeah, maybe it was a woman, but that was straight drag.
Oh, that was
Yeah.
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 I
Yeah.
didn't watch that show a whole lot, but I know.
So what is considered drag? Like, what technically is drag?
Ooh, that's kind of a hard one because honestly, like,
And I ask that because, like, you have like trans women who are, their main goal is to be 100% women, essentially. But like with a drag show, you live your daily life as Will, but Mimi comes out once every however often, and
about once a month.
yeah.
And she a hoe.
She a hoe.
That's a red light night.
Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, what is I guess the definition of drag? Like, what is it?
I mean, that's what I was gonna say. Like, drag can be honestly anything you want drag to be. For me
In
personally,
women's clothes or just?
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's hard to like talk about some of that because it's one of those things to where it's however you want to dress or however you don't want to identify. That's your whatever. But for me personally, drag is like we always say, if you're not wearing nails, hips, pads,
Hips?
yeah, like
pads.
hip pads,
To make your hips wider?
make more curvier. Yeah,
Gotta have them curves.
yeah. Like
I don't.
the bar owner, like I've always said it too. Like if you're not wearing,
And buy you some hips.
Apparently.
they're $100-something online. Right?
Negative.
Damn.
That ain't worth it.
Yeah. But
You shop at Drags RS? Is that like you get a catalog?
no,
Amazon.
There's certain people that like you'll find out like in the community and stuff that like make hip pads for entertainers and
Okay.
like mine cost
Well, that's
like
why they're so
$130.
expensive.
Yeah,
Okay.
Custom hips.
yeah, mine were like $130.
A piece or like both hips?
Both hips. Both hips. I didn't get like a hip replacement, like for both hips.
I mean, if you get a hip replacement for $130, you're fucking
You're golden.
On it.
I might need one before
The
too
country
long.
doesn't show up on the
Yeah.
map.
But
So, like, when I think of drag, I think of like what you do.
Mm-hmm.
You're a man, but then you go out there and
Yeah.
you're all makeup, wig. That's what I
Tits,
don't
hips,
like.
yeah,
I don't
nails,
picture somebody
yeah.
like me going up there and doing all the makeup and doing all the hair and dressing all up and like I don't picture that as, to me, that's not drag.
yeah.
What I see the most out of drag is the makeup. It is
Makeup is
like
very
over the top.
Yep, and that's what drag makeup is. You know, it's we always want to say you want to paint for the back row because
So you want to see it.
pretty much, yeah. Because when you think about it, you know, us as guys, we're not as like structured as like a woman would be facial wise. So like when we contour and highlight this and that, we have to accentuate our face more female. You know, because they have the high cheekbones. They have, I don't know what you call it right here, like.
My cheek? I don't know.
No, like
I'm looking at you
the part,
to
like,
compare
right
a
under your
woman's
cheekbone, I can't
face
remember.
versus.
You know, they have like if you like look at her brow bone, you can see how it's whiter right here. Like for us, not wider like that, not wider. Like,
What are you trying to say? No.
like I don't know the correct term.
You don't have
But
the face
like-
for drag.
Wait, no, it's not it. Anyway, you can do drag. You can actually be a bearded drag queen if you wanted to be.
Do it.
Really?
Can we have him
Yeah.
come in and do your makeup one
Are
day?
there? Yeah, I think that'd be
There's-
kind of fun.
I think
There's
that'd be
bearded
fun.
drag, yeah.
I want to do it.
Bearded dragons.
Bearded dragons. Is that what they're called?
No, bearded drag.
They are now. They're bearded dragons now.
just bearded drag queen.
I just made that shit up. Bearded dragons.
But no, it's like we just have to accentuate ourselves
Why does
more.
it work?
No.
Perfect.
No.
Bearded dragon.
That's going to be a stage name.
What made you think of Mimi?
Okay, so when I first, because we were talking about earlier
Carey.
about like 3 different name changes for me.
Oh yeah, what was the first?
When I
two?
first moved up here, I started performing at Scandals nightclub in Asheville.
I love the names.
Scandals.
Scandals.
Yeah.
Like, we're
I haven't
doing
been there in
something wrong.
like 6-7 years. No ill will, qualms towards them. I just left and
Right.
found new adventures. You know. So my name back then was Little Mimi.
Little Mimi.
Yes, it was.
Okay.
Yeah, no lie.
I don't like it.
So we were outside smoking one night, and the owner at the time came up to me. He goes, "We have to come up with a more professional name for you."
Yes.
And I was like, "Huh?" I was like, "What's wrong with Little Mimi?" I was like, "I'm little. It fits." He goes, "Yeah, but like it's just not. It's not professional or professional sounding."
Did you actually say little or was it Lil?
That's what I was. That
Little
was my.
Mimi? Little. Yeah,
it wasn't Lil Mimi.
No.
Were you going out there and rapping?
No.
That would be awesome.
I can't rap.
I think a Lil would have worked
Yeah.
way
Yeah.
better. Maybe he wouldn't have.
So after it was Little Mimi, I'm trying to remember. It was that, and then I think we were outside for like a good 30 minutes, just hanging out, smoking, drinking, whatever. And all of a sudden, I was like, well, I want to keep the Mimi part because that's what people know me as right now is Mimi, like Little Mimi, but Mimi. And he goes, okay. He goes, well, do you have like a favorite like singer, or do you have like a favorite, somebody or whatever that you look up to? And I was like, not really. So I was like, where are you going with this? Like,
Godsmack.
Yeah. So, like, literally,
What you mean, bro?
like, literally, we were just standing there, and all of a sudden he goes, what about Monroe? And I was like, what, Monroe Mimi? I was like, that has no ring to that. And then he goes, no, dum-dum. Like, he used to make fun of me, too. He was a sweetheart, though. And he goes, Mimi Monroe. And I was like, like Eminem? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, sure. And it just kind of stuck. People just started calling me Minnie.
So here's
darn
my
it.
question, because I
Mimi
noticed
Monroe. I like that.
Yeah.
a lot of drag names are like after Marilyn Monroe. Like a lot of them. A
Yeah.
lot of drags. I mean, she's basically like Madonna, like an icon.
Yeah.
Okay, so Marilyn Monroe did a certain style of photography, or
Right.
Like, she was very, like, pin-up, but
Right.
tasteful.
would you say drag is sort of based off of pin-up style, but with a lot of fucking makeup?
I
Very
think-
eccentric.
Drag is very eccentric, and it can be, I mean,
So you do these shows, like you dress up for your shows. Like, is there anything else you do drag wise?
what do you mean?
Like, do you go to like libraries and read books to
no.
children or anything like that?
No.
I'm just kidding.
No, like, I've actually had
It's
friends, though, that
I know
do
it's a
the,
thing.
what do you call it? Library read to children
Yeah.
concept, which I think is kind of cool.
It's an acceptance
know-
thing.
and-
Not make it so.
And I know there's been issues a lot in
foreign.
the past with parents, and like
Yeah.
I've seen and read stuff.
Then don't send your kid.
Yeah. And
I was honestly, I wanted to ask your opinion as a drag queen on, because it is kind of a thing. Like,
Yeah.
it's a big deal. Like, what are your thoughts
yeah.
on it? Thoughts on it? Like,
I mean, personally, I think being like, if I was a parent and I had children, if first of all, it should be up to the parent regardless if they
Right.
want to introduce their kids to that or not.
Right.
Like, who am I to say that's not my life, that's not my kid? Like, let the parents make that choice for them. Granted, I know people out there in general can be pushy, like, well, we're gonna go to this or that, whatever the case is. But personally, I'd honestly, if I had children, I'd rather have my children be around drag entertainers compared to some people in this world that, shouldn't even be around kids
Yeah.
or, whatever the case is. Like, I would feel more safe with my kid with a drag queen than just some random, like, person down the street watching my kid.
Well, we live in a world now where you're going to have to introduce your kids to these things.
Yep.
Whether you agree with it or not, you have to introduce your child to it because they're going to, you don't want them like to see a drag queen walking down the road one
Right.
day and be like, Mom, what's that?
Yeah.
No, that's rude. Educate them now.
Yeah,
Like,
and I wish more parents would think like that, but like, again, it's not my life, not my kid, so I
Right.
can't
yeah.
make that call. You know what I mean?
and you're coming from the perspective of a drag queen. You know these people that are in the industry, and they are good-hearted people. I assume all of them,
And that's a sad
or
thing.
at least most of them are
Yeah.
good-hearted, genuine people. I think I can see both sides.
Yeah.
But I can also see what is the purpose. And I don't know how old these kids are. Like, what are they like?
They're
fucking-
usually pretty young. I mean,
anywhere
6
from
to-
2 to.
yeah.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
2 to 8.
And that's the thing. It's like, we're just reading to them.
Yeah.
But
You know what I mean?
But you're reading to them from what they're seeing is what they don't see every day on a daily basis. You
Right.
know, like, to me, from that kid's standpoint, or even the parent, like, that is this person reading to my child is just extreme. And obviously they don't know the inner workings of being a drag queen or that industry and whatsoever. And that's the problem with about anything these days.
Yeah.
Is because people don't do their research. They don't understand it. But
I think a lot of it's based off is it's like sometimes they only see the bad side of stuff.
100%.
You know,
but also at the same time, it's like, why do you, what sense does it make for you to full blown dress up and go read a book to kids? I mean, why can't you go read a book to kids just like you are now?
Because when you think about it, kids like what? Disney characters and fantasy characters, this and that. So for me personally, if little kids saw me in drag, it's one of those things where it's like, oh my God, they're so cool. You know what I'm like?
Right. But then you've got like that 12-year-old boy maybe that's in there that's questioning. And then he's like, oh, wait, there are people like me out there too. So
see, that's why I always say, like, if you don't want to take your kids to certain events or this or that, by all means, don't take them. You know, that's your choice as a parent. Like, I'm not going to force that on you.
With that,
but at the same time, you know, the world's always changing, like I always say, and it is. It's one of those things, like, if you want to introduce your child to a drag queen or an entertainer in general, take your kid, you know, introduce them, you know, be there with your kid, and if they have questions, answer them.
Yeah.
My thing is just, I wish some people just weren't so close-minded, if that makes sense, and actually give us a chance, because not all of us in this world are out to, like, what they used to call it, groom their kids.
Yeah.
Like, that's not what we're doing. You know, it's like when because this past September I performed at the Asheville Pride Festival. There was hundreds and hundreds of little kids, like, having a ball, having a good time, just dancing, like, acting like little kids. You know what I mean?
That's the point. Like, as long as they're happy, then why does it matter? But, like, as a drag queen, if you're going to read to the kids, like, it's, for one, it's just, like, this is a new, never, like, what the fuck is going on type of situation.
Right.
But as the drag queen, like, when the kids sit down, are you explaining to them why you are dressed and set up the way that you are?
Right.
Or is it just like sitting down and the kids get quiet and it's like, all right, I'm reading this story? Like, do they understand why this person is dressed and make up like they are? Or are they just like, what the, you know?
I think, honestly, certain ones might be too young to fully understand.
And that's another thing. Is
what a drag queen is.
They're
or what
not
they
going to understand.
But I think, and that's
at that age,
circling back to what Michelle said, I feel like I said, I'm not forcing any opinions on anybody because it's not my job.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the more you introduce kids to that type of, what's the word, like, entertainer wise, you know, they won't grow up when they're, you know, like 18, 19 years old, when they can go out to a club or a bar or whatever, you know, or 21
being an asshole to somebody that's a
like,
little different.
What the hell? You know, like, they can be used to, like, oh, that's a drag queen.
That
you know,
makes,
and they might
sense.
But
if you explain that to them,
right.
Like if like they just see this drag queen reading a book to them at 6 years old, and then when they hit 18 and they just happen to stumble into a drag show one night,
right?
Like, they're gonna be like, oh.
And that may be the case too. Even, to be honest, like, there's been drag shows when I first started, and I was like, I don't know what this is, but I'm having a blast. You know what I mean? But at the same time, you know, I always say, like, there's already so much hate in this world as it is, unnecessary hate half the time, that I've always said, if you want to bring your kids to a drag show that's family friendly, you know, and usually when they are family friendly, the queens, entertainers, whoever's in the show will accommodate to that. You know what I mean? It's not one of those things where it's like, I'm going to do a raunchy number in front of a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
That's not what we do. You know what I mean? And I wish more people would be open-minded as far as, you know, hey, I'm taking my kids to a drag brunch, you know, so let's say that, and it's all ages welcome. Well, usually when they're all ages welcome, the parents know what they're bringing their kids to. Mm-hmm. And the queens know if it's an age or a family-friendly age event, the queens, entertainers, whoever's in that show will cater, like, okay, there's kids here, we got to do, like, Disney numbers or something that's age appropriate. You know what I mean?
So there is straight drag queens out there too. They're not just. I think everybody associates drag queens with being gay,
Yeah, and that's not the case.
And that's not the case because there are straight men out there that just like to wear heels, dresses, and makeup sometimes.
I've met straight guys that are drag queens. I'm like go
if
ahead.
that's what you want to do for fun, then go. That's no different than like me going and singing karaoke on the weekend.
Right.
Same thing.
Exactly.
It's saying that like a straight man going to do drag, for some reason that sounds extremely normal to me. But like when I think my only thing is like when you're in front of children who are far from fully developed and their mind's a sponge at that moment, you know, like
mine still is sometimes.
And like when thanks, Michael. We
were doing so well with
it. What is going on?
Look at the little shape it left.
Yeah, right. It's only beer number 2.
Yeah, but like their minds are so moldable at that point. It seems to me like if you're gonna do this,
I mean, I will say there should be. Like, I wouldn't expect to have...
Let me finish my point. Hold on. Before you... I lose my shit. So, like, I'll forget shit in a heartbeat. Ask Michael. Because I can't
forgot
remember...
fucking Michael.
I can't remember her name. If you're gonna do this with children, in front of children, like... These are more than likely children that don't see this every day. They're brought up a certain way, and then they walk into the library one day and then they see, you know, over makeup, you know, dressed up man essentially, right. You know, like, and I don't, when I say that, I don't mean any harm. It's just like from the perspective of a child, like
very eccentric.
They're seeing, like I said, no fucking offense whatsoever, but to them, they're essentially seeing a clown. Mm-hmm. You know, like all this makeup, dressed up, hair, everything.
But at the same time, they don't know if that clown is male or female.
They don't. But the gender's not really the issue. It's the over. Mm-hmm. They're seeing like something that is just so extreme, so different.
Right.
Like if you walk in and give them their developing minds, like say, like I am a drag queen, you might tell them what you do and how this works. Like maybe they're gonna grasp onto some of it, and then maybe they're just gonna be looking forward to whatever the fuck book you read.
I was gonna say, I think explaining it is where where bigger problem would come in.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But
at least till they get older.
But
you know,
at least you do explain it, because some of that information that you explain to them will stick, whether they can go do a test next Friday and remember it, but later on in life, like we were saying, 18, 19 years old, they stumble into a drag show and they're like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Well, to be fair, I would feel like, as a parent myself, if my kid was 6 years old, I would take him to watch a drag queen listen to a drag queen read a book. 100% I would take him.
I assume this is something that's like, you know, it's put up on the flyer. It says drag queen Mimi.
I say most of the time they'll post flyers.
Mimi is reading books.
But it's inclusion. It's, you know, I want him to realize there are people out there who are different. Now, me, myself, as the parent, will be the one to explain.
Right.
Hey, we're going here.
I say that shouldn't be my job.
That's not your job.
Se. Like,
this is the situation. Most of the time, parents that are purposely taking their kids to the Pride festivals or reading a book or whatever they're taking them to, they're trying to include that in their child's life, and they've explained it to their child. Everybody's different.
That's my thing. As long as they're explaining it.
Yeah.
As long as they're telling their child.
Like, that'd be like me. If I had a kid and my kid wanted to go to a drag queen book reading or even the Pride Festival, you know, whichever the case is, or a brunch, I would explain to them to where they can understand it. Mm-hmm. And like, you know, this is what this is going to be. This is, you know, this person's doing this, you know, explain it to where they, on their terms, to where they get it.
Right.
But at the same time, like, I don't know, It's one of those hard topics because it's like,
Well, it's not like your child has been to 6 Christmas parades and all of a sudden you take him to Pride.
Yeah.
You know, and he's like, Jesus, like, what is going on
Yeah.
here?
Yeah.
Where's
Yeah.
fucking Santa?
Yeah.
You know, like,
I've seen
it's
babies at Pride before.
right, but it
You know,
is
it's-
if they don't know what they're going into, it's such a shock. I think
Yeah.
it's more of the shock factor. You know,
And
what
that's
I
what
mean?
I think when it boils down to. I wish, like, for me personally, I wish parents would just explain on their terms or in their own way, like, this is what's going on. You know, is this, even like if you have to ask, like, is this something that you would want to do? Experience this, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if I would leave it up to the child. Like, yeah, Mom, I'd love to go. Or, no, I'll wait till I'm older. Or, you know, whatever the case is.
I don't think a child is going to be able to answer, you know, like,
Well, I mean, they know yes and no.
I mean, they, you know, yes and no, but they don't understand the reason why yes
Yeah,
or
they
no
don't-
makes a difference. You know what I mean?
And I say this from being a mom.
Right.
Like,
Do you have children?
No.
Okay.
I
have fur
Didn't know
babies.
if you made any
No.
from that one
No, I have
vaginal
fur babies.
experience you had.
I raise my kid to
Yeah.
be very inclusive.
Right.
As long as they're not forcing it on you,
Yeah.
why does it matter?
And that's what I've always said too, in general.
Well,
Yeah.
if you raise your kids, like, just don't be. You don't judge anybody,
Right.
No
Yeah.
matter what the fuck
Right.
they anything.
So
You
there's
don't-
enough judgment in this world as it is. let alone-
Right,
Yeah.
right. Kids aren't born judgmental. They're not born racist. They're not
Nope.
born anti-gay or whatever. It's just all in how you bring them up
Right.
and how you approach each event or festival or
Yeah.
just situation.
Yeah.
You know, kids are moldable. It's like a pit bull. Like, yeah, they got a bad rap, but it's all in how it's brought up.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know,
That's what I was saying. I wish, when your kids do grow up and, every kid's going to experience certain things in life or, whichever the case is. And, I think personally, like you said, it's all about letting the parent do it.
Mhm.
Your parent can make that choice if they want to take you here or take you there when you're still obviously of that age where you can't make your own choices. You know what I mean? But I just wish more people would be a little more inclusive and, not all entertainers or drag queens are out to like, I don't want to say groom
Manipulate
kids,
your kids.
Yeah, that's not what we're here for. Like it's
Y'all are just living your best life. Let you do
Right.
it.
Yeah,
right.
and there's just that's why I just get irritated sometimes. I'm like, why do you have to be an asshole? Like I'm not bothering you. You don't live my life. I don't live your life. So what do you care so much? Like
You walk through those
Yeah.
doors. You
Yep.
you made a
there isn't. For example, one time this straight guys came into O. Henry's. Clearly, you can tell it's a gay bar because there's rainbow flags outside. Like it's a gay bar.
yeah.
And they walked in, and all of a sudden, people heard out loud, "What the f- is this place?" And I kind of giggled internally, but I was like, "It's a gay bar. Where do you think Did the flags not give it away,
So that's
or
where
like
I
what
would
is-
fail.
Yeah."
Because I would have said it.
And they literally were like, "Fuck this place," blah blah blah. I was like, "Why do you have to be rude? Like, if it's not your type of vibe, just casually just walk back out and leave. Like, you don't have to make a scene." Like,
Right.
So I'm that person that would have looked at him and said, "Then fucking leave. We don't want you here anyways."
I mean,
you probably could have done that, and I probably would have clapped.
I would have said it.
it's like yeah, you can't make a bad judgment on somebody just because they don't do
Right.
what you do.
Yeah.
That's just. On that note, we're gonna take a quick break. This has been fucking awesome. I have so much to question. Anyways, we're gonna take a break. We'll be right back.